Proverbs chapter 9. Go down to the 6th verse. Leave your simple ways, and you will live. Walk in the way of understanding. Do you know any simpletons? How do you say that nicely? There is no way to say that nicely, but do you know any simpletons? Yeah. And you know what? The people who take advantage of simpletons are the fools. Simple people are simple people, not foolish people. People who take advantage of simple people are the fools. Somebody who believes that, oh, I don't know, the Easter Bunny or Peter Rabbit is real, and they're, 18 years old, would be called a simpleton. But what's wrong with the Easter Bunny or Peter Rabbit when they're helping their neighbors cut their grass and rake their leaves, or they're still home taking care of, mom who may be ill, or they work a job, they go to work, they go to church, they believe in the Easter Bunny or Peter Rabbit. But there are people who take advantage of that simple person. Those are the fools, because they know better. They despise instruction and correction. They despise things that are right. So it's not hard to recognize who the fools are. It's a dangerous thing if we don't recognize who the fools are in our life. Proverbs chapter 10. Look, there's no doubt if you know me any longer than 20 minutes, Proverbs is my favorite book in the Scriptures. It's my favorite book. It's the book I study the most. I'll be flat out, I'll be totally honest with you. It's the book that I've been studying the most. If I had a dime for every time I turned to the book of Proverbs, I wouldn't have to work another day in my life. To me, it's the most instantaneously brain-gratifying, life-changing book out of all of them, Proverbs. I don't discount any of the other ones, but this is one I spent some time in. Proverbs chapter 10, 8th verse. The wise in heart accept commands, but a chattering fool comes to ruin. What's a chattering fool? A pompous A-R-S-E. That's what a chattering fool is. Somebody is so full of themselves. You are not allowed to speak while I'm speaking. Now, that's why I just had to walk away from behind the pulpit, because I'm going to tell you the reason why Just Church is the way Just Church is because I'm sick and tired of pompous fools. Church has to be regulated and scheduled minute by minute by minute. How long did you stay in the assembly, baby? Do you remember?
Probably like 14 months.
Were you ever allowed to interrupt during service and ask the pastor a question? I was in the assemblies for as long as she was there, and longer. And I was a member of other Pentecostal and Protestant movements. You're not allowed to ask questions in church. Why? Why? Because the chattering fool up in front of the church knows everything. And will tell you everything you need to know, and that's what you will listen to, and that's what you will obey, whether they are or not. It turns my stomach upside down and inside out. I had had enough. I can't listen to a chattering fool. I can't do it. And the gentleman right now that I'm entertaining online and speaking with, I had already told him, dude, listen, I've gotten along fairly well without you for all my life. I'll get along for the rest of my life without you if you're going to be name-calling, and let's not do the I'll call you out after 6th period on the playground thing. Otherwise, adios, amigo, and don't need your brain games. And he wrote back, it's probably a good idea that we don't do that. Okay, that's probably a good idea. And I'm setting him up. I told Cliffy, I'm setting this poor guy up and he don't even know it yet. I've already set him up arguing about Spinoza, who's a 16th century writer who denied the possibility of miracles ever existing. I already cast a bait and he swallowed the whole thing already and he don't even know it. That's how wise he is. That's how smart. Oh, you want to talk Spinoza? I can see him doing this. Ooh. He's a philosopher. I know this. Okay. Let's see how much you know, knucklehead. Keep taking it. Because I'm going to keep feeding you some bait. But a chattering fool. Oh, it's only me? Nobody but me? That's a chattering fool. Try to keep that in your mind. Same verse. Same chapter. Proverbs chapter 10. Go down to the 18th verse. He who conceals his hatred has lying lips. And whoever spreads slander is a fool. You walk out of this church and you talk about your brother or sister or the person who sat in front of you or behind you because of the way they dress, the way they look, the way they act, because they smoke, because they don't drive a new car, because they go to church in the ghetto. By the way, it's a ghetto church, I'm sorry. I didn't know if you knew that before you came in. But okay, well, we're glad to have you, baby. If they're slandering, if you hear somebody slandering somebody, stop it. Hey, whoa, whoa. Shut up. I don't want to hear it. This is the wrong set of ears. I don't want to hear it. You go right to the person you are slandering and say what you want to say, and that is not slander. Did you know that? Are you aware of that fact? If I go to you and say to you, listen, blah, 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 about blah, 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 that's not slander. But if I go to him and talk about you, that's slander. It is so simple, it's stupid, but we can't figure that out. Well, I might hurt their feelings. But you might hurt my feelings by talking trash, so shut up. Sometimes you do this, and you should do this. So shut up. What?
There's a cartoon character that likes to say, you need to be shutting up a little bit.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
King Julius the Lemur.
Who is it?
King Julius the Lemur on King of Madagascar.
King Julius the Lemur.
King of Madagascar.
I'm sorry. Missed it.
People are talking, he's a proudly fool, but people are talking and saying, you need to be shutting up a little bit. That's my favorite thing.
Proverbs chapter 14. I like it. I didn't know this King Lemus. King Lemus? Julius. Forget it. I'm not going to forget it. Never going to remember it. Proverbs 14. Verse number 8. The wisdom of the prudent is to give thought to their ways, but the folly of fools is deception. Right now we're just going over how you recognize fools. They try to deceive you. They literally, it's their intent to deceive you for whatever it is they want. Deception is the quality and a trait of a fool. So if you have that trait, lose it. Honestly, my attempt to, and listen, what I attempted, what I wanted to preach on today got nothing to do with this. I wanted to preach on equipped. I wanted to preach and teach on us being equipped. I was so excited to teach about David could have been delivered from the giant, but he wasn't. He was equipped to kick his butt. But where am I? How do you recognize fools? That's not where I wanted to be. But it's what you needed to hear. It's just that simple. And maybe it's not that simple. Maybe to some it's a little bit too confounding. I wanted to preach on what I wanted to preach on. God wanted you to hear what you needed to hear. Because of the deception and the disruption that's going on in the church and in families, we need to understand that it's our responsibility to cut the fools no slack. You're not supposed to cut their throat, but you're not supposed to cut them any slack. Otherwise, you're in the fool pool. I just made that up. There's no extra charge for the poetry either. It's free. It goes right along with everything else. Where are we? We're in 14, verse 8. Go to verse 9. Fools mock at making amends for sin. A foolish person will laugh at you when you ask for forgiveness. Listen, this is real fresh in my memory, so I'm not telling you something I don't know. Well, how ridiculous. How ridiculous to ask you to forgive me. What's ridiculous about me asking for forgiveness or admitting my flaws or sins? What's ridiculous about that? Well, because you believe in God. It is ridiculous that I don't think man is wise enough to create the entire universe. Even the fact that DNA is something that we just recently found out about, and the double helix and all these big brain stuff. You got to be a big brain to understand these things. We ain't smart enough to figure that out without the authority and the knowledge and the wisdom of God. We created life. This is how the current hate the church, atheistic, humanistic society thinks. It's all about me. And I must be foolish because it's not all about me. You're right, I'm stupid. I'm so stupid because it's not all about me. If I could reach through the computer and slap some people in the head, I'd be busting my knuckles on a daily basis. I know. I'd have swollen, it looked like I would casts on my fingers. Go to chapter 20. Proverbs 20. We're almost done here. We ain't even close to done. Proverbs 20. Verse number 3. Pay close attention to this. It is to a man's honor to avoid strife, but every fool is quick to quarrel. How fast do you know someone who... What are you giggling at back there, Cook? How fast do you know someone who will quarrel with you about anything? It's Sunday. It's not Sunday. It's lunchtime. It's not. It's dinner time. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? I can't call it lunch. I have to call it dinner. That's how we did it. Oh boy. Quick to quarrel. Quick, 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 quick. Ready to argue. Ready to snap. It's either somebody who's off their medication, needs their medication, or is a fool. Men tend to find a man cave. Now, I am not saying that women are more foolish or men are more foolish than the other. I'm not saying this. What I'm saying is I have to just say it because I can't say it. And women like to argue more than men. There, I said it. Too bad. I'm sorry if you don't like it. Tough. That's the way it really is. Could be. It could be.
Start speaking numbers, they'll show right up.
They don't get the number thing.
What? Huh? How do you down and do anything?
It has something to do with something, I know it. Why you gotta start stuff like that? Every fool is quick to quarrel. Somebody who's always ready for an argument, avoid them. You don't have to hate them. You don't have to answer their calls when they call, because most of us have ID now, but if you do, and they start to quarrel, just say, goodbye now, click. There's nothing anybody can do when you hang up on them. Nothing. You know, they can call you back, and then you don't answer the phone. You don't even have to be rude. Bye now. How hard is that? Not hard. I've come to this realization through my anger management that I'm doing so well. Oh, by the way, I got great news for you. I didn't tell you this yet, huh? Dr. Frank said to me last week, I told you when I come home I need a management job. Well, when I go see him Tuesday, I'm going to have him write me a prescription so I can bring it to work.